Let's go with the first Boulder World Cup final 2019, and we welcome Tomoa Takata, Jongwon Chon from South Korea, Kokoro Fuji, Rei Sugimoto, Tomoa Narasaki, and the world's best climber, Ondra. Yes, you heard, Adam is back. He wants to prepare for the Olympic Games 2020, so he's doing the full season, apparently, and maybe he doesn't even have to, but he wants to get used to the new school style of the boulder problems, and because of this, he also went to Japan to prepare for the first World Cup and the whole season. Apparently going to Japan is a good thing because we can see 4 starters straight from Japan into the male final, and we start with our first boulder. We start with boulder number 1, Tomoaki, not Tomoa, sorry, my bad, starts with this tricky run and jump into the start position. Then in his first try he climbs around the red, and I think that's the intended way to do it, but he's climbing down onto the foothold and kind of skips some section. It's not the hardest part, honestly. The hardest part is the start and the last move. But Tomoaki, sorry again, he flashes boulder number 1, and this boulder seems to be pretty easy. Easy, yes, but also pretty easy droppable, especially the first move, as mentioned before, trick start, and all of the following climbers, everyone messed up the first move. We can take a look at Adam here. He didn't feel really comfortable, and we will analyze the first move. So on the left hand side he starts and his body is a little bit too far on the left, and he starts immediately pulling on his right hand, so he can't get the toe hook on the right side anymore. You create a push movement between your arms. If you pull too hard on your right arm, you turn and rotate to the left, and you stop the momentum and rotation with the right hand in a toe hook position. So it's a mix of standing too far on the left side and also pulling too hard and too quick with his right hand, which makes Adam fail on the left side. Pretty easy to create a good split here, a good ranking for the route setters, because you always have to run into the position, leave the ground, so it's really obvious and easy to judge whether you held the start position or not. And as mentioned before, the last move was not tricky, more or less slippy, and Kokoro Fuji did not send boulder number 1. So we have 5 climbers with 1 top in a different amount of tries, except for Tomoa and Jongwon, going into boulder number 2. Spoilers ahead. Boulder number 2, by far my favorite boulder, 40-degree overhanging wall, and they created a lot of body position, powerful, intense toe hook moves, complex, just a feast for your eyes. The crux was getting into the toe hook, using the toe hook for this crossover. I guess Jongwon misread the boulder because you don't need the toe hook in this position. No, you need the toe hook for the move afterwards. If you try to use the toe hook there, you don't have any pressure, you just rotate off the wall. If you use the big foothold to get into the wide volume with your right hand, and then you can place the toe hook, and the toe hook creates an opposing force for this crux move. Pushing between your 2 hands, putting the toe hook in, and now you pull with your toe hook to the right, opposing force with your right hand, pushing and pulling yourself to the left, and you can hold the swing and momentum. Crazy looking move, one of my favorites. And after this, 2 methods, release and flip. Okay, I already said too much, because if you don't flip your right hand and go dynamic to the left, you don't have an opposing force again, which can hold you and stick you to the wall. If you only go with your left hand, we will see what happens now. Kokoro slips and slides off the wall. But if you do the flip with your right hand, you create another opposing force which stops, kills the momentum, slows it down, and then it's right, left, and top. 2 difficult moves. You did not have to do the flip. You could also wrestle this big sloper dish as an undercling like Rei here and climb to the top. A powerful method, less risky when it comes to the dynamic movement, maybe a little bit more powerful, but still promising. And after Kokoro, Tomoa, also Rei sends boulder number 2. Adam struggled a little bit with the start because he's the tallest climber. It was quite hard for him to get into the push. Once he got into the push, you can see him here struggling with his limbs, legs, everywhere. Once he got into the push, he knew what to do. He pushed underneath and he tried to climb into a safe position, left foot matching left hand, and fell a second time. That's what I said, body position. This boulder is really intense and really technical demanding because you always had to find the right body position, not only the right order of the moves, also the right body position for each different body type and height, and it was still pretty hard to execute because I think you never felt comfortable. On the other hand, Adam found a knee bar there. That's just his climbing style, always looking for a safe position where you can control and think about the next move. Not too risky, always good calculating. And after 3 tries, he was also able to send boulder number 2, and we ended up with 3 climbers topping 2 problems going into the slab. A mixed round, a really good mixed final round, consists usually of an opener, maybe a dynamic move, then something powerful and complex like boulder number 2, and then a slab is necessary to test all skills, the whole complete skill set of a world-class climber. And boulder number 3 started with a mantle, then slow traverse onto the left side. To get to the left side, you had to balance over onto the volume. And we can see here it has only friction on the black part of the volume. The slightly light blue part is slippery, doesn't have any friction. After this, a cross under to this crimp, and it's a really gnarly, really mean crimp. Jongwon is usually one of the best crimpers around in the circuit, and as we can see here, he had a lot of problems doing this move. Already with his left foot high on the left, it's already planted there. Once you execute and do the move, you cannot move it anymore. And his right hand, he's sitting really low, tries to go dynamic from this crimp, and this was not easy. Everyone else fell. Rei sitting low and deep, falling as well. Rei falling again. And now we compare our only 2 tops. Tomoa and Adam, they both flashed it, but in a different style. Tomoa was way quicker, he mantles onto his left foot. Adam, on the other hand, has a chalk back with him. Tomoa, as mentioned before, already standing and already continuing his climb, traversing slowly to the left, and he's doing the step over quickly, and we are waiting for Adam to catch up. Adam, on the other hand, is a little bit taller, so he can still stand with his right foot on the start hold, reach the zone hold, but sooner or later you have to execute and traverse, fall to the left. You could also do it slowly. Tomoa goes with his right hand immediately to the gnarly crimp, and with his left hand he pushes down on the big footer and kind of jumps palms down into position. As mentioned before, way quicker than Adam. And because he jumps with his left hand into the position, he can choose where he stands with his left foot. Take a look at the foot position. He doesn't sit as low as Adam and can do the last move way quicker because his left foot is further on the left. Adam, on the other hand, has to kind of creep higher on the wall. Doesn't matter, he's really solid in crimping, and he finishes boulder number 3 off with a flash as well. What a round so far. We started with a tricky dynamic boulder, then a really pressy, powerful body positioning technical boulder, and then boulder number 3, a really balancy slab finished by a crimpy top. We also have a really good ranking, a really good split. Only 2 climbers with 3 tops, and as we've seen, Tomoa needed 2 tries less. He climbed really solid, fluid and smooth. Adam, on the other hand, needed 2 more tries. due to the new school boulder problems. But as mentioned before, I think this round was perfect because we finished this final in an old school style, a crack climbing, hand jamming, finger jamming. And I didn't know that the Japanese and Jongwon as well were not able to do this. It reminded me, I think it was Whale in 2012, Jan Hoyer in first position, last boulder, hand jam as well. He was not able to do it, and as we can see here, I think they never did it before. They're really good at committing to moves, slopey, slippery, mean footholds, bad body positions, but they are not able to climb a crack and jam with their hands. None of them found a solution to climb the crack. Jongwon found a solution to skip the crack, climb and jump to the zone hold, but then he couldn't hold on with his right hand and fell down. Let's see what he's trying here. It all looked a little bit desperate because you had to kind of bump with your left hand again out of the crack. He tries to kind of lay back the volume, but it didn't really work out. They tried to encourage each other, but they just didn't know the technique. They just don't know how to climb a crack and how to jam. So no one of the Japanese team, and especially Tomoa, no one did get a zone or a top. So coming in, Adam Ondra, and he's been to Indian Creek. He knows how to crack climb. He's been to Yosemite, Norway. So it's not a problem for him because it's not a tricky move. It's a technique which you can climb, which you know or you don't. I don't think this crack was proper hard. It was just, as mentioned before, a technique which you know or don't. And if you don't know how to crack climb, then you are not an all-rounded, well-rounded, perfect climber. Adam Ondra, on the other hand, shows his skill set and he knows how to do and how to climb everything. Slab, powerful, crack, old school, crimping, dynamic, everything. What a deserved win and a great comeback on the World Cup circuit for Adam Ondra. On the other hand, it was a little bit sad that the Japanese climbers even didn't know how to climb a crack properly. I think Adam will show them, might have already showed them how to do this, and I think next time they will all fight with even odds. They all know how to do this by then, and they are on the same level, and I think Tomoa showed off another time why he's my favorite, or together with Adam, my favorite, because he's still better when it comes to the tricky, dynamic parkour, circus, committing style moves. And he's also really good when it comes to crimping. I was surprised how easy he crimped the boulder number 3, the small crimp. What I'd like to mention is, to all the parkour and circus move haters out there, I think when it comes to the parkour moves or the really tricky dynamic moves, it's still okay to set something really complicated and really spectacular, because you can kind of learn it and feel your way and the groove into these difficult moves in 4 minutes. On the other hand, if we take a look at this crack climbing, none of the other 5 guys was able to learn or just improve slightly in these 4 minutes which they had for this boulder. So for me it was like, okay, Tomoaki doesn't know how to do it, so I guess the others don't know how to climb a crack. So it was more or less 20 minutes of boring watching people try to skip a crack, and then Adam came and climbed it so easy. So I think this boulder would have been climbed by the others as well, but pointing out one more time, dynamic movements are a little bit better to see the progress of a climber in a final. Doesn't matter. Thank you for watching, listening to me. I'm excited to see Moscow next week. So stay climb, keep parkour. Nikki out. Bye bye.